Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. Brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware at 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, New York. 631-756-1125 is the telephone number. They're in that time now where they're transitioning over from winter stuff to spring stuff. And in the transition, they've got a little bit of both. So if you're looking to make sure, in case we get one last gasp of winter time, or maybe you want to get your yard ready for spring. They've got it all from sand and salt to mulch and topsoil. 631-756-1125, the phone number, and the website is omnitruevalue.com. We have made quite the transition from what we were dealing with last week, where weather conditions were pretty quiet, to what we're dealing with this week, which is probably a little bit of everything, from severe weather to snow to rain to strong winds to very cold temperatures to some very warm temperatures that we're seeing today. So I'm going to try and give you an overview here, and then tune in tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the Joe and Joe Weather Show so you can get a complete update. Now, we do actually have wind advisories up now for New Jersey, Pennsylvania, down into Virginia, and into North Carolina and Tennessee. And this is all ahead of a cold front. And on top of that, we've got severe weather risk for this afternoon and evening in a stripe of slight risk that runs from east central Mississippi, northeastward through northern Georgia, western South Carolina, western North Carolina, easternmost Tennessee, a good chunk of the state of Virginia, eastern West Virginia, just about all of Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, and into a good chunk of eastern Pennsylvania. The marginal risk has now been pushed up further north into the Hudson Valley from Albany on eastward to Boston, from there south and west into southern New England, Long Island, and the lower Hudson Valley, as well as a small portion of northern New Jersey and northeastern Pennsylvania. And this is because we have a pretty strong warm sector that's setting up here. Low pressure in northeastern Ohio that's going to be moving up into the St. Lawrence Valley. And at least as of this morning, from 10 o'clock this morning, when WPC analyzed the weather observations and analyzed the surface here, there's a east-west warm front that's lying from just north of Pittsburgh into northern New Jersey, across New York City, and into southeastern New England. Temperatures are in the 60s south and west of there and climbing as of 10 a.m. So we're seeing readings that are going to get up well into the 70s today in some places. To the north of that warm front, temperatures are in the 40s. So it'll be interesting to see how far north it gets. And this sets up the chance, as we said, for severe weather for this afternoon. And we'll be keeping an eye on what the Storm Prediction Center does with all of this today. The tornado risk, by the way, is a small area of 2% in northeastern Alabama and into northwest Georgia. The primary risk is going to be wind, 15% chance of at least 50 knots or more in some of the thunderstorms. Hail is not a big issue here, less than 5% being indicated in all areas. So we're looking at the satellite loop, the warm sector breaking out into some sunshine ahead of this cold front that is pushing east, and you'll see it here as of midday. We have some showers and some heavy downpours going across upstate New York in the upper Hudson Valley and heading into western Massachusetts. And then you've got the area to the west in Pennsylvania down into Ohio, Kentucky, and Tennessee, and into northern Alabama, where we're going to see a fairly strong line of showers and thunderstorms. And I'm sure we'll probably see a few severe thunderstorm watches go up later this afternoon, and we'll keep you up to date on that. So let's take you through what we expect to happen here. And I'm just going to roll this back. We have our cold front that comes through this evening here in the east. And you'll notice that there are some showers being indicated. I'm using the GFS today. And then, of course, this goes out. We're going to turn colder tomorrow. It's going to be windy, on the windy side overnight into tomorrow morning. And then the wind will start to ease as a weak high builds in. And here comes the next wave. And now, while we don't have very cold air, we kind of have marginal cold air here. And a little low is going to develop. You see, there's a low Wednesday morning in northeastern Georgia with the isobars kind of pointing toward the North Carolina coast. And yes, that is snow in the blue that pops up in Pennsylvania up into southern New England, and even some darker blue snows. But this is going to be one of these situations that, A, it falls in the daytime on Wednesday. So temperatures are going to be critical, and elevation is going to be critical with regards to any kind of accumulation. I tend to think that in most places, that even if this winds up being a little bit colder, I don't know if we're going to get the intensity of the snow to be heavy enough to accumulate on pavement. So, being that as this is during the daytime on Wednesday, I would think that if we wind up with enough moisture that would normally produce, say, several inches or more, in this particular situation, it may only wind up producing a coating to perhaps a couple of inches, and most of that will be on colder surfaces. And as it sticks, it'll be not melting from underneath. So I'm not really too concerned about this becoming a problem. If you're in elevations over 1,000 feet in northern New Jersey, in the Hudson Valley, in eastern Pennsylvania, and in perhaps in Connecticut, then you might wind up with a bit more, where temperatures are going to be a bit colder. That's going to go out, and then we're going to be setting up for another wave that is going to be coming up on Saturday, later Friday night and Saturday, a strong cold front. And look at that gradient there. A lot of isobars there Saturday afternoon. Most of the rain that we're going to get with this will probably occur Friday night into Saturday morning, and there might even be some thunderstorms when the front goes by. And then the gradient is going to be very tight, and it's going to turn very cold behind this. So I'm thinking that there could be widespread wind advisories and high wind warnings for Saturday into Saturday night. That is a very strong storm that develops up in northern Maine and winds up heading up into eastern Canada. And the gradient is still going to be tight Saturday night into Sunday. And this is a very cold high that is coming down from Canada. So you're going to see temperatures running 15 or more degrees below normal. We could see lows down in the teens and 20s in the parts of the deep south, for example, and in the northeast. It is also going to turn very, very cold as we go to the weekend. It's a fairly quick shot of cold air. The high moves out Sunday night. We should start to warm up ahead of the next low that'll come in later next week, and we'll deal with that when their time comes, because you know what? There's way too much going on here just for the next 5 to 6 days. Weather in 5 brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware at 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon. 631-756-1125 is the phone number, and the website is omnitruevalue.com. So first things first, let's keep an eye on the radar, and let's watch and see what the Storm Prediction Center does with all of this. Again, I think there probably will be some severe thunderstorm watches that'll go up later today for some areas. And then we'll deal with the next system on Wednesday, and then we'll deal with the big wind, but it'll turn out to be the big wind event for Saturday. So we'll see you tonight, the Joe and Joe Weather Show on my YouTube channel, Joe Cioffi, at 7:30 Eastern Time.